to pay my deepest respect to the traditional custodians in the land we all dialing in. I am dialing in from the land of Bunurong people. I acknowledge the Aboriginal people as the traditional landowners of this and was and will always be their land. I also acknowledge the continuing connection to the land and sea and waters. And as a visitor of this country, I just want to say I'm privileged, I'm thankful, and I'm conscious about the pain and the struggle that the landowners of this country still continue to experience. So without further ado, I shall start the introduction. My name is Nyeshan Nyak, and I'm the founder and the managing director of NAS Recovery Center, also managing the project Path2home, which is what these sessions are about, the products of Path2home project, which is an intensive program that is designed to reduce the risk that are associated with mental health and AOD use, also educate the community and create safe space for culturally diverse African people.
My name is MJ. That's just my nickname, but it's Masika Janine. And I'm originally from Congo, and my background education is in mental health as well. And I also do modeling on the side and a little bit of business. I'm so excited to be here today. Thank you so much for having me. I have been wanting to be part of this platform for ages, as you know, but I just haven't had time or like a chance to really actually just come down and be like, okay, come on, do it, you know? So having me, appreciate it.
So excited to have new people, but also people joining the sector because there is so much gap and it's going to take a lot more of us to create a sustainable and more impactful change. So welcome again. This is our fifth session for the term 1. So for those who are new, we run Path2home project, our intensive program that goes for 8 weeks. We do both in-person group therapy. So the in-person one is more of a group therapy suitable for people whether they're in recovery or who wants to give peer support back to those who are still walking the journey of substance misuse or mental health challenges, as well as other life challenges such as unemployment, lack of motivation, and so forth. So we run that in the center. But we also do this family support group online, which is it's a semi-structured groups that we run every week to create awareness, to provide education, but to most importantly just bring African people together online to talk about whatever topic we feel like doing. Nothing formal, but just a space for us to talk about important topics that empower us, changes our perspective on certain things and grow us as individual, but also as a community. And so we run them for 8 weeks, and then we would have a week in between break. And usually for those who attend consistently, you also get a certificate because some of these topics we cover, topics that are, may enhance your ability to, let's say, if you want to work in AOD or mental health or in caring positions. So we like to recognize those who consistently attend, and by giving them a certificate, which that you can use towards your other credentials. And also, so it's been 5 weeks now, and we cover different topics each term. So last term, for those who were attending, we covered mental health topics. So we covered things like paranoia, psychosis, depression, anxiety. So we do it in themes. And then the term before that, we did addiction. So we focus on substance use, addiction, and so on. And then this term, because it's the beginning of the year, we really want to focus on just empowerment, internal empowerment as a person. So then you can make sure that the next 11 months is productive. It's what you want it to be. You can go towards your goals, make changes that enhance you as mentally and emotionally and physically as well. So yeah, so today we're so grateful to have MJ here to join us, to dedicate her time literally just being generous with her time, expertise, her experience to come and share with us on body image and the power of affirmations. So I'll be giving it to her, but I encourage us to also, once, when she give us the space to speak, do speak, ask questions that are relevant to the topic. So let's try to keep to the topic, and give each other opportunity to also speak as well. So let's be conscious of time, but let's contribute, let's share our experiences, because body image impacts all of us at a different way, whether it's positive body image or negative body image. But body image in general, no one can say I don't care about my body. Like, it's just not it's the temple that holds everything together. So it's what gets us up, it's what gets us moving, it's what sustain us from disease. Like, body is so important in any type of body. So this is a very topic that I'm very passionate about, and I'm looking forward to learning from MJ and also from everybody else. And also, I want to just make a disclaimer that this is not a group therapy, so if there's something that triggers you or something you want to take further, do consult with your therapist or speak to someone, who's qualified outside this. It's not intended to be a professional counseling session. So there's some things that may be off topic, so don't take it personal, but also if something does bring something up, go get some support. I will stop there. So MJ, if you are ready, I would kindly ask you to take on the session. Welcome.
Hi everybody. Thank you so much for coming in, and the people that know me, hi. I'm so happy that I was given this topic to talk about today. I personally grew up differently. I think everyone has a different way of growing up, and personally, I thank my childhood for my power of affirmation that I have. I thank my mother for raising me the way she did, and I feel like if she didn't raise me the way she did, I think I'll have a whole different perspective on how I view myself. She played a significant part in that. I can say, so parents, just the way you speak to your children and the way you the words that you say, whether they fail a test or not, they're very important, and they do sink in, and sometimes this affect their confidence growing up as well. I was lucky enough to have a parent that took all that into consideration when I was growing up, and she raised us on her own. She's a mother of five girls. And then one boy, so all of us 6 children all together. So she had to have a whole routine in place for us to be able to grow up and love ourselves and know what to say when the society comes into it. So when you're growing up, there's your parents, there's the society, and there's also the siblings, the families that you grew up with, that play a part in your development, the way you view yourself, the way you communicate, obviously, and also the way you just give back to the family itself. You can grow up in a family that's very negative. Unfortunately, some people have that experience, and they've been told negativity things towards them, which means they believe it. And if they do, it sinks in because it's coming from people that you care about. Obviously, a person that's a negative comment coming from your parent and coming from a friend, they hit different, and you can take it on. You can unfortunately take it on, and then that just turns into something else. When you hear it from outside, somebody else calls you the same names, or they call you something about your body, say you're too skinny or you're too fat or whatever they can say. Things like that. If your parent says the same thing, you have a different comeback. If someone says it, if someone come and say it to you, you'll hit you, but you have that. You have that I don't know, shield. I think that's what I call it. It's a shield. It'll hit you, but it will bounce off. So whatever comment comes off will hit you. You might feel bad for a moment, but then be like, nah, like the coolest person in the world, which is my parent or my sister or my brother, they think I'm this. They think I'm important to them. They think I'm smart. They think I'm beautiful. So those comments pick you up, and you could just find yourself again, and then you just don't get lost into the world's comments, negative comments about yourself. I just wanted to share that little bit because my background for me played a significant part in my life, and that's how I managed to navigate through the world with all the negative, thoughts that comes into it. I did put a PDF together. I will email it to you after. And also there's a little link that I use. It's a 5-minute body affirmation video on YouTube. You can listen to it when you're driving. You can listen to it when you're doing anything, working out or whatever. It's literally 5 minutes. It takes 5 minutes of your day. You just sit down, you listen to it, just words, positive words. It's your body, your rules, so like whatever you say to you is what matters to you, and your body will accept it as you say it, and obviously we all know the brain is a muscle, and we are allowed to build it the way we want. You can change. Unfortunately, if you had a sad background or sad childhood, you can grow up and learn positive things and change that, and also pass it down to your kids differently than what you got, because that no, that affected me negatively. I'm not gonna call my daughters say this type of names when I'm talking to them. I'm gonna let them know they're strong. I'm gonna let them know they're beautiful and they should be respected. They're not just what's there on the outside. What's on the outside, that's not the only thing that matters. And if anybody looks at them and sees just that part of them, then that's their loss, which means they've missed a significant part of this person because they were just focused on what's the, so that's just it. Add something, they can add something through the conversation. Yeah, and everybody.
Sorry, I think I mute you, MJ. Can you unmute yourself? I accidentally mute you because I was trying to mute James. Yeah, sorry.
I was about to say that. I was like, oh, is someone trying to talk? But if you're welcome to add things, guys. Like at the end of the day, this is a conversation for like a group, whatever you want to add into it. I myself, I look up stuff on body affirmation often because I work in the industry with young people who suffer from different types of body disorders. It could be eating too much or just thinking that you're not beautiful at all. It could be a seasonal, and it's seasonal. Sometimes these people will have a period where they think they're not all that, and in January they'll be all that, February they won't, like it's just a seasonal thing. And be patient with your body. At this time you can say, yes, I don't like it, or I don't think I look good right now, but tomorrow, it's a different day. It's a different day. Dress your body the way you think that is comfortable to you. Look after it, give it water. If you need to exercise for your own good, not because you're pressured to do it, because everything is in the mindset. If you set your mind if you're exercising for you, is different when you're exercising because to prove something, like the body takes it different. They all communicate. The body and the mind communicate. So when you want to work out for you, tell yourself, I'm doing this for myself. I'm doing this because I want to do something that's good that's going to be positive for my body, because exercise is good for you, not because I want to be skinny, but because I just want to work out because it's good for my health. I want to look just like drinking vitamins. I do that as well. I encourage that too, little things like that, they play a huge part that you don't even know to your body, because as I heard said before, she said the body is everything. And obviously, because it does everything for you, thank it as well. And say thank you to my body. Thank you for waking me up this morning. Thank you for, like, I went through a tough time. Like, you could go through so many bad things in life, but your body really makes it through. And that's very, very good. Like, when you have a body that can pull through and push through life, you're all here today because your body's made it through really difficult times. And as for that, you're the only person that's responsible to look after it, regardless of the negative feedback from outside and social media and other people. There's so much noise. There's so much noise. It's hard to filter it, but when you already have a base You know, as I said before, you already have a base. You already set your own body affirmation. Your words they can be different from the video that I'm going to put up, but you could set up your own. You know, you could say, you know, if you're religious, you could say I'm a child of God. You know, like, you know, God loves me. He created me. You know, you can say things like that because to encourage you. For example, I'm a Christian. I was raised a Christian. I was born into it. I don't know how to live with that, believing in something that's greater than you. I think that also played a part because I felt like I'm special. I was created by God, and as for that, I value myself at a high standard. You know, and obviously my body is a temple. You know, so like I respect it to that level. So I'm not here to like brag about religion, but my religion played a part in that when it comes to like body affirmation, you know, and body image. The other thing I wanted to mention is I found out an article about how like family favoritism. So like obviously you can have so many kids, but then you somehow favor some and you don't favor the other ones, so they feel left out. Um, that also affects children or people growing up as well. When you show so much love to that certain group or one child than the other, these kids notice these things. We might think that they don't, but they does notice them, and then it does affect their confidence because they feel like, why am I the chosen one? Why did they not ask me? I think when I look back now, I think about it today. I was thinking about, I was like, oh, how did my mom do that? She all the meetings were together because we were all close together in age. Everything happened together. When we have family meetings happened together. When it was prayer time happened together. And we were all, when it comes to like advising children, we were all advised at the same time, which means like we all felt like we're getting the same love and, you know, affection from her. I know Africans have a different way of showing affection, but we gotta learn, and we need to learn from where we are, you know, and from the society that we're in. You gotta show affection to the people you care about, to your parents. You gotta tell them. They're not saying it because they don't know, and I don't blame them. You know, they don't understand how if they say they love you, that means so much, or you're absolutely beautiful and I appreciate you in my life. Stuff like that. They make a huge difference. Huge difference. Even just with friends, like even coming from friends that you care about, telling you positive things, or well done, you go girl, like you did that, I'm so proud of you. Things like that really do encourage a group of friends or family group, or, you know, I don't know what anyone else thinks, but those were my thoughts, you know, and that's what, and I'm adding myself into it because I'm an example of my life. You know, I would like to talk about things that I've lived, instead of like facts. Sometimes. Yeah. But
So
if
good.
it's
So
all right.
good. So good. Thank you so much for sharing, you know, how, you know, your upbringing and how it influenced you, your faith, you know. Last week we were speaking on, you know, mental health glow, and, you know, each area is like what you just covered. We talked about, you know, the importance of, you know, what your spirituality means and what your emotion, you know. So like definitely what, you know, our perceptions of our body is what society tell us, because when we're born, no, we have no expectations. We just know our body is our body. You know, we grow, you know, we're little, we just suck our hands, our feet, you know, we're happy, we're innocent, you know, and that innocent usually get ripped away by the society because, you know, as soon as you learn to talk, you know, if you're a girl, you get told you can't sit certain way, you know, or if you're a boy, you can't wear certain clothes, or you can't look certain way, you know, you can't, you have to sit up and you have to, you know, and if you're a girl, you need to look down and your body needs to be moisturized, you know, so the society then takes away that innocent, that naturally that we're supposed to be, because, you know, and that's the voices. And so what you're saying is if the voices at home were powerful and they were positive, then the outside doesn't really like, it may make you feel something, but you're not going to take it personal, because something only hurts when we take it personal. The pain only hurts when it triggers something else, Otherwise it's temporary, you know. So if you can't relate to it, if there's no already a wound inside, nobody else is going to be able to inflict a wound that's going to last. It may, you know, you may make you stop and think, it goes, oh, why would they say that to me? I wonder. But it's not going to leave any lasting impact because those people are strangers to you. So it starts at home, you know. And so our healing, our opportunity, our ability to weather the world starts at home. If we hear something positive, then of course we can't control what the world will say, but it's going to have less impact. So that's what I was hearing from you. And obviously, as people, you know, Africans, you know, it's hard. Like this conversation is hard because we know very well, if we're honest with ourselves, that, you know, many of us don't hear, you know, it's not, and if we do hear positive stuff, it's not consistent. And it's about consistency, you know. So we don't hear positivity on a consistent basis. We don't have a culture that approves a positive body image. There's a very strict guidelines to what a man body should be and what a woman's body should be and what it should do as well. So it's not just about what it should looks like, but what it is for, what it is used for, who can use it, who has the authority over it. And all that is influenced obviously by culture, religion, and society, as well as the supremacy that we know, you know, the historical, you know, factors that happens to a Black body. So this is a conversation that's huge than that, but I'm so glad we're having a start to this. And so I'm happy to open it up to the rooms, but I guess it'll be important for us to maybe cover some of the body, you know, where our body influence comes from. And so if we go around the rooms, you know, if people can just say, you know, where did your perception, you know, what is your, where did you get your learning from, you know? Where did you get your learning of positive body image? If it is positive body image, if it's negative body image, where did that come from? You know, so obviously share as much as you feel comfortable sharing. We're not here to, you know, to put your life, you know, like to blast our parents or our families or uncles, you know, as much as we want to, but we're not trying to do that. So share what you feel comfortable, but it'd be good for all of us to, you know, like MJ told us, her learning came from her parents, you know, and her faith is what also anchor her. Where did your learning come from? So yeah. Mac.
Um, I'll
Yes,
go
Sonia. Yeah.
first.
Mhm.
Hi, everyone. Nice to
Hi.
meet you all here again. For me, I would say growing up, I had no directions or any information, negative, any influence, negative or even positive on body image. I just grew up. You know, there are other important issues more than the body. So I wasn't really aware that I was too skinny or was too fat or I was too dark or I was not tall enough or short, you know, short enough. Not until when I arrived to Australia. And then of course, society then kicked in and the media stream, you know, the what was considered beautiful, you know, in the society that we live in and what the media portrayed as beautiful and things like that, you know, movies and shows and then of course hearing about racism, and then you go to school and you get comments on your hair, how your hair is strange and it's, you know, it's some kind of way, and your hair is so gay and all that comments from school. So all that negative body image for me started here when I moved here at the age of 14 in 2015. And just it wasn't from family, it was just basically from just the society in general. And I think it's the common influence of body image that we all probably share, which is just media and just the society in general. And I like to believe that they also got that from the media, because they do portray a particular standard of beauty that is accepted as beautiful. That's my negative that's where my negative influence came from. The positive also sadly did not come from my family, because growing up I was not, like Nishan said, most of us were not told you're beautiful or you're loved. Like I didn't even get hugs growing up. Okay. I could not even say I love you. I remember there were times we made an experiment, me and my friends, after high school, where we called up our family members and told them we loved them. And we were asked if we were okay. Like my brother was like, "Are you okay? Are you sure you're okay? Are you dying? Is something wrong? It's okay. You can tell me if something is wrong." That's how bad it was. Okay. Calling your brother and telling him I love you, and he's asking you, "Are you dying? What's wrong with you?" and all that. That goes to show you how we never really showed so much of that type of love to ourselves, or never actually experienced it. But my positive body affirmations come from the Word of God. My true, real identity of myself comes from God and the Word of God, from what the Word of God says I am. And His Word says I am beautifully and wonderfully made. And I'm not an accident, you know. He knew me since I was in the womb of my mother. Oh, my daughter's telling me I'm wonderful. She always tells me, "You're a cutie pie, you're wonderful." So for me, that's where it comes from. My entire identity is from the Word of God. Till this day, I cannot say it's my family. I cannot say it's from my friends. I do have wonderful friends now that I've grown up, and they do tell me I'm beautiful. And I have a man that tells me every day, even if I put a plastic beanbag over my body, he will still say, "You're beautiful and you look good." Which in a way makes it, it still makes me go, okay, I don't know whether that's coming from a truthful place. But yeah, truthfully speaking, none of it came from family, whether the negative or positive. I would say the positive now comes from the Word of God and the identity I have in Christ. And then the negative is basically what is around us that all of us see and experience. Sometimes you go to a party, "Oh my God, what's happening? You're so fat now. Last week you were so hot. What's going on? Go and lose weight. Oh, you're so dark now. Go put some bleaching cream." Like, no, I don't want to bleach, you know. But, they think you're broke now. Did you lose your job? You can't afford it. No, I know where the shop is. I have money. I choose not to do it. So basically, yeah, society.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Wow, thank you. And how good, what a great timing for your little cutie to be saying that to you. So, I think it's something that you can add that, little people in our lives, their innocence,
Yeah.
and they say words and they mean them. So if you ever doubt that, just if you want to doubt anybody else comments, just remember, your children comments are usually the truest, because once again, children are innocent, and it's society that corrupts them, which is every one of
Absolutely.
us were children as well, and we were innocent, and then the society corrupt our thinking, and then we
And
keep
we have, and
projecting it
sorry to,
on.
and sorry to cut you, we have an opportunity to change things.
That's right.
Like I make it a point to make sure my kids knows that they are beautiful and they're precious, and regardless of what anybody says. Sometimes because my kids, they like to bully each other, so sometimes maybe my son will say to the sister, "Oh, you're ugly," and then she comes to me, Mom, do you say I'm ugly?" And I'm like, "Are you?" And she goes look in the front, and she goes look at herself in the mirror. She goes, "No, I'm not, I'm beautiful." I'm like, "That's it." It's what you believe, not what anyone else tell you.
Yeah,
And so training the next generation as well, so that's,
wow, that's so good.
yeah.
Thank
Work.
you so much. Thank you for that input. Anyone else want to talk about where they got their learning from? You don't have to go in detail, but just if there's something that's not said here, that could be where you got your learning from, or where you got your first experience of body image, both positive and negative, whichever you feel like sharing.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
All
Thank you.
right.
Male's perspective, we love that.
That's cool. So, as far as liking myself, I've never had that problem. You know, I've always liked myself. But like my parents, they call me Goy. In our language, it means good, you know. So I feel like it's a blessing and a curse at the same time, Because like all my life, like, even when I want to do bad, I do good. Do you know what I mean? But it's crazy. But what I want to say, like, where I got like my learning, it's actually my dad. He's a very smart man, and it all started like when I came here, like in '94. So there wasn't like a lot of Sudanese people around and whatnot. So I only knew one word of English, which was pretty much hi. So so I had to go into primary school. I started grade 3 then. And yeah, so like everything's all different to me. I've never seen a white person before. So like, and they've never seen anyone like me before either. So it's very difficult, you know what I mean? So, but like, I would go to school. Um, I'd start hearing like all these kids talking. I had no idea what they're talking about. Then I'd go home, and my dad would do exactly the same thing, to a point where I'd ask him, I'll be like, yo, why? You know? And he's like, I want you to learn. So then it was just a constant thing. And my old man's pretty strict too. So he doesn't like TV or movies or anything like that. So yeah, it's always like reading, just being smart and whatnot. So yeah, I guess I can kind of thank him for being strict on me and whatnot. But yeah.
Thank you. So wait, yes, yeah. So it's like you were given a different focus. So body image at home wasn't the most important thing. It was about learning, being smart.
Yeah,
Yeah.
learning,
So then
yeah.
that kept, yeah.
Yeah. I have
Mm.
crazy self-love for myself. So that's why I
Yeah.
was like, I like myself too much,
That's good.
you know.
No,
Yeah.
that's good. That's great.
Hey, you gotta love yourself, you know what I mean? In order for others to love you too. So
Yeah. That's why we're here trying to learn to love ourselves. And if we already love ourselves, we have to keep it that way because you
yeah.
only got yourself and especially your body. As MJ said, it's the only thing that's sustaining you because how often everything is going well. I'm sure there's a quote somewhere, someone saw it. It's about, you have all these 99 problems, but the minute you have health problems, all that don't matter. So the minute the body
Definitely.
goes downhill, everything else crumble, and we all,
Mm.
do everything we can to keep the body well so that we can then overcome anything. We can overcome mental illness, we can overcome addiction, we can overcome anything else if we're healthy. But if the body crumbles, then the mind on its own is not going to function anyway, it's not going to do anything. So it's quite it doesn't make sense that certain cultures like our cultures doesn't put body as important when it's actually the most important part of, it's like a house, like, without the house then you can't really have furnitures in there and beds and all these things anyway. And if you do, then it's probably just going to get stolen, destroyed, damaged. So you take care of the house so that whatever you put in there is sustained, protected, and sheltered. So we have to protect the body not only by what we put in it, by how we speak to it, by how we treat it, by how we appreciate it. And saying thank you to your body is not some sort of a weird thing. We say thank you to people for giving us a cup of tea or water or opening the door for us. But the body that's holding you on the chair, that holding you on the bed, that's allowing you to be on the road, the body that you protect and you insured your car for, so you don't, if something were to happen, you're protected. It doesn't make sense. Like, why would it be odd to say thank you to your body for keeping me safe, for getting me across the ocean in 1994 and coming here? Like, without your body, how are you going to come here? So
Yeah.
it's so important. It's more than just a thing. It's everything. So I'm so glad we're having this conversation. Anybody else want to add to that on how they got their learning? Thank you, Goy. And Goy means, by the way, Goy
Okay.
means more than good. It's not just good. It's something that's beautiful, something
Oh,
that
really?
it's Goy, like it's something that's like, I don't know if there's other newer people here, but if you think deeply, it's not just like good.
Mm.
Good is just good, it's something
Yeah,
that,
tell us.
Almost perfection.
huh?
Tell us. I
Tell
want
us.
to
I said almost perfection.
Goy, yeah, it's perfect. It's so perfect. Like it's holy. It's just, it's
know.
good.
Wow.
Mm.
It's it's
Yeah.
untouchable. That's why for spiritual people they say God is good.
Mm.
Like
Wow.
it's
That's
so
good.
Mm.
holy that it cannot be
I
touched.
think
There's
I think
nothing
that's why
wrong
you
with it.
couldn't do bad because of the
Mm,
name is actually
You know,
deeper than just good.
yeah, nothing
So
wrong
Yeah,
with
it
it.
it
does.
was
It's
So
instilling me pretty much. I'm always doing the good stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
So anyone else want to share, please?
Um, Yeah, I will share. So like for me, I would say the negative came within my household and within my surrounding. And like growing up, I was happy with who I was. But then when I reached the age of 17 and everything, I began to understand like, because like my mom was bleaching, my siblings, everything, you know? And then as you grow up and now, like, you know, certain stuff is like the way they do the makeup, the way they take their photos and look more fine, you know, than you are here and you take yours and you look different, you know? So that itself kind of influenced my mind. And it got to a point where I dived into it so deep that I couldn't even recognize myself, you know? And I thought that was self-love. I thought that, you know, like if I'm like this, then people are going to accept me, you know? And through that it kind of led into going into drugs and alcohol and everything, you know. And in the midst of it, it's like I lost my identity as a person. I lost that self-awareness. I lost what I call it, who I was, you know. And like MJ was saying before, like it goes back to like there's certain things that actually bring people into the positive path. And for me it would go back to my faith, you know. And when I encountered my faith in 2016, that itself opened my eyes. And it's like I had to go back to the old me from the beginning. And when I went through that journey and having to embrace my skin as I was from before, you know, it's like I had to learn like, wow, this is truly who you are, you know. And even the thoughts were coming into my head is like, you're ugly, you know. Even my family members were telling me, my God, you went so dark, you know. That's not what the society what I call it recognize as beauty, you know. But then it's like as those thoughts come into my head, it's like I had to learn to reject them. I had to learn to accept who God created me to be, you know? And it was very challenging, you know? But then it's like for the last 7 years now, it's like I'm so happy that I took that path because it's like I don't have to spend no money on creme. I don't have to spend anything on trying to impress anybody, you know? And that itself made me happy within myself, like within my heart and within my well-being. It's like I no longer care of what people are saying. And through that it's like it has opened door for me to connect with people who are genuine, you know, instead of having this fake lifestyle or this fake image or identity that you present, and then later on when people get to know the real you, it's like they get turned off, you know. So it's like it's really important. And because that foundation was not laid within my household, all of us as the daughters, we felt into that trap, you know. And out of my siblings, I'm the one who got out of it. They still stuck in theirs, you know. It's like there's moment where they will stop bleaching, and then they were like, oh, go back to it because everybody's doing it, you know. But once you learn not to follow the wind and go the opposite direction, you truly begin to understand your identity as who you are, you know. And like my sister was saying before, you know, the word of God helped her. And like when she said that, I was like, oh my God, that's what helped me also, you know, because it made me understand that I'm wonderfully made. God made no mistake. And if he made no mistake, then where am I finding this little mistake? It's only the society is telling me there's a mistake in you, you know? There's something that needs to be perfect. There's something that needs to be fixed, you know? But as a human being, if you can learn it yourself, if you can look at yourself in the mirror and just speak words that are positive, you know, they will begin to reflect instead of speaking negative stuff, you know, instead of saying, oh, I'm worthless, I'm not loved, nobody wants me, you know, you will begin to desire love from somewhere else, you know. But if you tell yourself that you are loved enough, that you are enough for yourself, you know, everything else will just work out. So that's my little
Wow.
testimony.
Wow, that's so good. That's literally so good.
That is so
Awesome.
good. Wow, thank you so much, Dio. And I really like what you say about, you know, so it's more than the body image. It's the fact that once you learn to self-accept, then you start to see yourself, you start to attract authentic people. Like that's so powerful, how just simple how you feel about your body, how you perceive your body also influence the type of people you attract and the type of people you surround yourself with. And, you know, another thing you said is that, you know, you could attract them, you know, with this external stuff, but then if you haven't done the work, which only comes when you have self-acceptance, then they will know the real you and then they'll be shocked. Wow. You know, like, so it's, you know, it's more than just accepting yourself. It's the fact that if you do accept yourself and you do, you know, start to see yourself as God has not, you know, God or whatever else you believe in, that there's no mistake, then you can be focusing on healing and other things, and then you will attract the right people who would then help you grow in all other areas of your life and give you better satisfaction with yourself in general. So I really like that. Thank you. MJ, you know, you take on your presentation and you can go to what other part you want to talk about.
Oh,
But
that
yeah,
was
that
so
was so
good. Thank
powerful.
you, everyone. Thank you, everyone,
Everybody
for
that
coming
spoke,
in and
yeah.
sharing, you know, getting personal about where all that came from and how you're keeping it going. Like, my goodness.
Yeah.
That's so good. I'm so
Yeah.
proud
Yeah.
to hear that. I have one more point to add is that when I think somebody mentioned that they would go out there and then have a negative day where like someone will say something, and then they'll come back with that, will come back home or, you know, carry it with them, you know. The only advice that I would say is to just these affirmation videos, they're everywhere. Literally, they're on YouTube. They, you know, one that I listen to specifically, I'll add it into I'll put it up. I'll send it to so you have it and you can share it, because it's a good one. It's literally 5 minutes. So when you had that day where you feel like there was so much negative energy coming towards you and you're driving back home, you just put it on, you know, listen to it. You repeat what it's saying. It's literally just tells you positive words about your body, your rules, you know. If like, it just literally you just repeat it, and after that 5 minutes you feel so good because you're like, oh my god, what they're saying is true, you know, and you believe it, and it just gets in your spirit again, and hopefully will help you wake up again and realize that you're actually amazing, because you are, you know. Just being alive today is so good. Like, I'm so grateful for that, you know, and for my body to get me to that level, you know.
Yeah.
Even photos on Instagram and things like that, like that's a whole other topic, but
Oh God,
you
you
know.
need to come back on Instagram. Literally, like it's topic called Instagram and the filters.
I think
Um,
so. I think we need to
Maybe,
do a
yeah,
whole different
we need to
topic.
come. It needs, yeah. So
Yeah.
I just wanted to say something on the back of that. You know, for
Mm,
us, you know, who are speaking about body image, I also just want to reassure us that body image is not like, it does not discriminate, and every single person at some point will have some sort of shame or have
mhm,
said something. So it's about, I guess what we worry about is if it's chronic, if it's to the
mhm,
point where, you know, you see your friend and you get jealous, or you don't want
mm,
certain outfit because you feel, or you're avoiding certain places, or you're only, let's say you're dating low vibration people because you think that's
yeah,
where you fit because your body
yeah,
image, or you're accepting certain treatments because you think you won't go anywhere. It's when it becomes chronic where
yeah,
it's, you know, like Dio said, where you start to think as yourself as a mistake who needs to be treated
mm,
accordingly.
mm,
So that's where there's issue. But every single person will have at some point in their life feel, oh, you know, I'm not my best. And it's okay to expect something out of yourself. Like, that's your body. Like, you know, as MJ said, your body, your rules. So if you feel like, hey, like last season I was this and I need to be this, that's okay. Like, as long as that's dictated by you and it's not dictated by the society, by the social media, or by people who are telling you should be certain way. If the expectation is for you and it's not negative, and it's not, you know, like, if you could slow down and say, why do I want to lose weight? Is it because everybody's calling me fat, or is it because I have a certain image that I expect of myself? You know, why do I want to enhance my beauty? Is it because, you know, if you can be honest, because only you will know the answers, and don't even try to lie to yourself. Really write down or tell yourself what your reasons are when no one else is listening, because nobody obviously can read your mind. And if your answers all evolve, well, so I can fit in, or so I can be like, or so I can find that girl or that boy or that job, then it's influenced by other people. And that's not sustainable, because what if they come back tomorrow and say, oh no, you need to lose 5 more, or you need to gain 5 more? What are you going to do? Are you just going to go back like a yo-yo every time people tell you how you should look? It's not sustainable, because if it was, then that's okay then. So I also wanted to give you guys some some facts, on like research that been done recently, it's actually been said that 1 in 5 people would have felt ashamed because of their body. So that's 1 in 5. There's how many of us here now, like there's like, I don't know, 13 of us. So 1 in 5. So that's very normal. You think of 5 friends, one of you would have felt some body image issue for a moment, at least, or season. Also, there is, hang on. Also, it says that over one third of people have felt down about, low or down about their body image. So people, feeling not happy about their body image, and nearly half of adults, so that's 50%, have felt that how they look affects what they can achieve in life. So if you think you're ugly, so 50% of adults think because of the way they look, if they think they feel good about they beautiful, then they think they will get something, they will achieve something better in life. And if they think they're ugly, they think they will get less in life. So this is very normal,
And settle for less things.
Yeah. So this is, it's very normal to feel, not feel 100%. Like, we're not asking people to walk around and be like, I'm perfect, that you're never going to have a thought of, I could be better, I could look better, I could feel better. That's your body. You're allowed to expect something of it, but as long as it's not by society. And the journey to get out of that, it's long, and depending on where you got your learning, and that's why I was asking about your learning, depending on where you got your learning, it's harder to shake it off. If your learning came from family and stuff, it's harder. And I can attest to what Dio was saying. It took me a while. I'm still in my self-accepting journey, but in the last few years, I felt beautiful in me, but I wasn't always like that. I had my fair share of, body image issue, did accept my hair, still working on my hair stuff, so it's a journey, and it cannot be rushed, like, but as long as you have some awareness that you don't want to be stuck in living expectations of others, because then, it's distracting you from
Especially mothers. Especially mothers. Like I really give it to you guys. Everyone that has a kid, like my sister has 2, and the body journey that she just went through in the last 3 years, that's so crazy. Like, we had to really push her and help her find herself again after having kids, and knowing that she's still beautiful regardless of what having kids or not. Because obviously those moments come, after she gave birth and before giving birth and during her pregnancy, there was different versions of her, so like it just took her a while, and we just had to encourage people around her. Played a significant part, her partner played a very significant part as well, making sure that she's still beautiful, and she's still beautiful, and she's accepting those things in a positive way. We're not just saying it because she's pregnant to try and make her feel better, but she is very pretty, and she's doing a very strong thing, and that's a courageous thing, and to the point where you get to give birth successfully. Like, aiming to that, like your body go through that, like what do you mean? Like, it's just, and it's just, there's a lot of challenges in life, and when it comes to men as well, like there's different challenges that you go through personally that you really need to give yourself credit for. Sit yourself down and really just, you can even do a list, just be like, what has my body got me through this year or this month or this week? You can make it as small as a day. Like, what did my body get me through today? What do I need to be thankful for? Little things like that really helps, seriously. And we all need to just encourage ourselves and remind ourselves, remind our friends, remind our family members, check on them, see how they're feeling, how's their body this week, how are they loving it, and if you're hating it, that's okay, but that's okay. It happens, as you said, it happens. Just don't stay there, because it's not healthy for your body. Again, that's the thing. So we got to balance it out, just like we balance everything else. We balance our body out as well, and we keep it to keep
That's
us. Yeah.
So good. And thank you for bringing, talking about mothers and what their body goes through, and the miracle of even bringing us, so body is to be respected. It's to, So I wanted to, just add a little bit too on the fact that it's not just about respecting and loving our body. It's also what it can lead to if we don't appreciate our bodies. So how our body image obviously influences our mental health. Obviously, many of you may have heard of many eating disorders those usually are part of body image issue, or and so being conscious on how you perceive your body is also, it's basically looking after your mental health as well. So they're not separate, because how you perceive your body, if you focus on your appearance, you'll invest a lot, you may lose money. Some people will borrow money to do certain things to their bodies, be with certain people that treats them really bad because of that's what they say they're worth, puts you in a really dangerous and very expensive positions as well. You also then obviously you start avoiding certain places, which mean you're missing out opportunities to connect with people and be happy, because for example, you may not want to go to the beach, or if you go to the beach, maybe just by yourself, you're avoiding being in photos. You maybe even commence dieting, like really strict dieting, like not eating for the whole day, or not, so it can be very exhausting for your mental health to constantly be thinking about your body and be preoccupied by how you look like and your appearance. You obviously would have trouble focusing on your other activities like studying, relationships, because you're focusing on your guilt and shame about your body. And our mind can't really multitask. If you're going to be busy, preoccupied, especially on something negative, it's going to be hard to have something positive as well. You can't be having a really negative body image and then also be really doing really well in school. It's like it doesn't, because one gotta give. And so your focus, if it's shift on negative things, your ability to then experience positive and joy is also compromised. So I guess the takeaway is also, you're not just doing it to look good, but to feel good, but to protect your mental health in the end. And it can always obviously lead into things like eating disorders, anorexia. So if you think you're overweight and you're restricting your food intake, that could lead to extreme weight loss and malnutrition. And if for example, if there's, a culture that glamorizes maybe being bigger or thicker or whatever, that you may overeat and maybe really consume very unhealthy food, and to the point there it's causing other health issues for you, like heart disease, diabetes, your ability to run or breathe and all those things because of that. So it can lead to other disorders which are detrimental to your health and could even lead to death or worse, or injury. So it's important to be conscious of that. It's not just a thing. It's not just a trend to love your body and accept your body. It's holistically fitting back to your mental health, your emotional health, and your joy in general. And I guess I'll give it back to MJ and, continuing talking about positive, how do we create positive body image, and for everybody else to also fit in on what do you do to keep positive image. Obviously, we spoke about faith, so that's already covered. If we can cover other areas that help you to maintain positive body image, whether it's seasonal or weekly. So yeah.
Yeah, that's so good. It's also what I feed it, like my body. I feel like I do care for it. As for that, what I put in, or obviously I don't drink, a personal choice. I don't want to expect everyone else to not drink, but I don't drink because it was never in my family. It was never around. It was around when I was growing up, but I already hated the smell by that point. So I just did never really, alcohol was never, it's not something that I do. So I don't drink because obviously I want to look after my health. But then again, that's not the only thing. There's other things that you can do, like obviously have meditation. Sometimes meditation is also very good. Just have a moment to breathe. Breathe in your car. Like I feel like the car is where I do most of my stuff, because that's when I'm alone, I'm away from everyone, and I'm driving somewhere. I always work in rural area or really far distance where I have to go. Sorry, that's just my little niece. It's going doing her own body affirmation. Yeah. So while I'm driving, I'll just say, positive things. I'll have a little meditation. I'll play a meditation thing and just be like, listen to it, breathe, have some time to breathe, and snack on good things. Like there's good snacks out there. You don't have to snack on sugar only. When you're snacking, snack on good, healthy things, healthy habits, that's it. I want to live long. That's a personal choice. I want to be there for my grandkids if I'm blessed to have that, so I'm preparing myself. If God bless me with a long life, let me encourage him to do it. So I don't know what to say. But yeah, that's just it. Diet, I feel like that's a very significant part for me, and that helped as well. When it comes to like accepting myself and loving myself, and give yourself good things, eat well. Like I even one time did a 365, like a full year of fruit challenge where I ate a fruit each day of the year. I made sure that in everything, and I even recorded it. It was a whole thing. People joined each day. When I had a fruit, I recorded it. I listened to music while I'm doing it, and then ate the fruit, and then just count the days. I'll say day one. So I did it for 365 days a year. But deep down, it wasn't about the fruit at all. I was literally just teaching myself consistency. Consistency, and obviously eating fruit is good for you as well. So that just worked out really well. So I proved to give yourself little challenges, little goals to reach. If you want to teach yourself something, give yourself an exercise so you can learn to be that person that you want to be, to teach yourself, be your own teacher, which means you have a positive mindset through that as well. Yeah. Because we learn as we go, no pressure.
Yeah. Wow, I would like to do that challenge of eating fruit a day. Like, I don't know how consistent I would be, but that sounds really good.
Do it with your kids.
Oh God. Yeah, diet is another thing. So yeah, how about for everybody? Those who haven't spoken, sure, you did. Anybody, like, what do you do to look after your body and keeping positive body image? Someone said,
Hello.
yeah. Hi.
Oh no, hi, how are you?
Yeah,
Wait,
good.
I'll just put my camera on. Hi.
Hello.
So my name is Diana. I feel like I find it very hard to answer that question because I'm still in the process of accepting my body and just going through the journey of what I feel like is the right place for me to be happy with it. And this is in terms of weight loss. So then when you ask like what do you do to keep like a positive body image to yourself, it's like for me, it's more like I'm thinking, how do I get to a point where I am happy with my body? Because, and it's not to do with others, of course, like the influence of others, because with my friends and family members, they would say, oh, you have a beautiful body, you have a curvy body. But then to me, it's like, that's not what I feel most comfortable in because it's causing me other health problems. Like, it's hard to like, just finding myself before I had my daughter. I was very active, I was very healthy, and I was able to walk up the stairs, run anywhere. But then now it's more of I have the fear of if I go out for a run, like, will I be able to run the distance or, so it's like more like I'm trying to break out of my shell in terms of accepting it. So it's still something that I'm struggling with. So I don't really have a way to answer that question.
Yeah. But I really like your awareness of, I think it's just about being aware, that awareness that, okay, that's something I need to work on. I'm struggling to have, I'm struggling to get to the point where I'm happy with, my health or my body in general. So that awareness is, whenever you then maybe have a negative, even if you're not aware of the positive body image, but if you're aware of the negative body image, then you can track and be like, okay, here I am again thinking about my body in a negative way. And then you can like retrack and be like, no, my body is not a mistake, or whatever your word, which is what we're talking about here. So it's not about focusing on positive, but if you can't focus on positive, if you find it hard to be positive about it because you're still in the journey, but at least be mindful of the negative then. Because then, so either way, be mindful of the type of language you're speaking to your body. Would you say, MJ? So if you can't think of anything positive,
Yeah.
but if you notice negative, that's, so just choose your battle, but don't like there's if you can't think positive, there's definitely something negative that you could notice. Or if you could think positive, then focus on that. So just find a
And
focus
as you
point.
said, like she had a really good point. You mentioned saying that since your daughter, so there's been a season, like you were not always like this. Your body is capable to go back to that Diana that you wanted to. to you know, so like if this has happened before and you were this person before, which means you can reach it again, why not? You know, it might take some time and a few challenges, a few changes, or like whatever you need to do physically, spiritually, and you could be exercising, but then if spiritually you're still feeling hurt about something or something that you need to work out spiritually, like talk to somebody, you know. I know like people blame a lot of things, like, oh, it's not good to talk about stuff to a stranger, but actually you'd be surprised how strong it is and how much positive effect you get from it, from talking to somebody about certain things spiritually that might be affecting you. Pray about it, pray about it, talk to somebody, talk, really, it will really change your life in ways that you don't know. I personally didn't, I'm into mental health, but believe it or not, after I graduated, that's when I realized, oh yeah, I need to go see a therapist for something. You know, I instead of seeing a psychologist, I went to see a counselor for a bit. You know, I did a few free sessions. You know, the government give us free sessions. We're so lucky in Australia. So you get about 5 free sessions, and if the counselor thinks you need a bit more, I think there's a letter that they can do.
Mental health care plan.
Exactly, and add a few sessions. And so counselors help you help yourself. That's one thing that I've learned. They work with you because you know yourself more than anybody else. So they work with you to help yourself work through whatever you're going through at that point in time. And literally, I don't know how many times I'm going to repeat this, everything is seasonal. You know, literally, that's what I believe. Like nothing will, you won't just forever be like that. Your daughter is literally not even 5, you know? So like, bless her soul, you know, she's absolutely stunning. But you work on yourself, just like you love her and you think she's absolutely stunning, the best thing in the world. You helped bring that to the world with the grace of God, you know?
So that must
Through
make you the most beautiful thing in the world.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's
Thank
gonna
you.
take some time, you know, but
Yeah.
give yourself a chance to, like, you know, you're studying a lot of things, because I know her personally as well, so you have a lot happening. So give your
Yeah,
body
and that's
an
why I
opportunity to,
think,
you know, process it all.
I feel like this year I've decided, because for the last 2 years I was struggling with that. I wasn't wearing or trying to go out anywhere, anything social, because I felt I'm way too overweight for who I was. It was just a huge shock during COVID and everything like that. But then this year I decided, because I have this problem consistently year to year. So what can I do about it this year? And then that's when I decided, okay, I need to start accepting myself and loving the body that I'm in right now, and then continue that journey of getting back to like a healthier weight. And then so I'm getting like an iron infusion. I'm going to be working with a personal trainer. And also I want to work on my spiritual self as well. And those are the things that I'm taking. So it's like, if you're not happy with who you are, you can't sit in bed all day and be sad about it and be and that's not to do with something drastic. It's more like just little things. So like, with your health. So it's like, don't sit and soak about it, and actually get out of bed, get out and do something about it. And that's what I've been trying to focus on, which is like getting out and actually doing those things, rather than saying, I want to have a relationship with God. What are you doing to do that? Or I want to be healthy. What am I doing to do that? So those are the habits that I'm trying to build. And I really like that you were talking about how you ate a fruit once a day for the whole year. And that was to like build it to, you know, kind of see how you can be consistent with things. So that's like really something. And even being a part of this, when I saw you post about it, I was like, maybe this is a step forward to like the journey that I'm willing to now get out of bed and do. So yeah.
Very good. Thank you so much for sharing, literally. I'm so happy. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Amazing.
Guys, if I can just comment.
Yeah.
I'm driving to work. Oh, I hope the network's not gonna mess me up. But I can relate to what Diana just said about, you know, being fit before and being able to run, and then suddenly, you know, she had a baby and things change, and you feel like you're now overweight, and then you get anxious about going out to back your routine from before because you're not sure whether you're going to be able to run or not. There was a particular point in my life where I used to exercise like almost every day, and I enjoyed it. And then, you know, things got really different for me, and I became so busy that I drifted out of that particular lifestyle, and I became so unfit to to the point that
Wow.
every time I wanted to work out, I have anxieties of the first time I started my exercise journey before. And that was that first pain. If any of you have ever started an exercise journey, you will know what I'm talking about. That pain that feels like you've been hit by a bus. Like in
Wow.
the back of my head, every time I think of going out to exercise, I have a little mini trauma from then coming, coming back to me. And I would just put it off. I'll be like, no, I don't want to go. It's going to be too hard and I'm not going to be able to run anyway. What's the point? And so I put it off for a while until when I actually read a book called Atomic Habits.
Oh, wow.
So
Congratulations.
I read that book, and inside that book, it talks about the 2-minute rule, and so I was like, you know what? It talks about doing, with a new habit, setting yourself 2 minutes or just a little short time to do it, and then working yourself up to gradually to the point you want to be in. And so
Wow.
what I did, Diana, is there's a place I used to go to, is a steps. I don't know if anyone's been to it, the 1001 steps in Warren. I used to run that place 5 laps without rest.
Wow.
Literally, I would run up the steps 5 times. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to go back there. I know I'm not going to be able to run 5 times, but maybe I can walk 1 lap. Just walk. And if I need to rest, I will rest. So I started going back there and I walked, and I cannot tell you the amount of times I stopped.
Sorry, you broke off.
You
Wait.
broke off. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Talk about
lap.
the 1,000
Hello?
steps and good.
Yeah, that's amazing. See,
Thank you.
the thing is, with her saying that, I've also read Atomic
I would
Habits.
walk when I get tired. I would stop.
Oh,
I
she's
would
back.
I would just do only 1 lap,
Okay.
and I would come. Oh my God. Did you lose me?
Yeah, we
your
lost you.
Sorry.
your reception
So I
is in
went
and
there,
out.
it's so bad. Can you hear me now, though?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
better.
Yeah, so I just went there and I walked 1 lap for several weeks. And I can tell you now that I can actually walk 3 laps, like jog, not even walk, like fast pace.
My
I
goodness. That's
can
so
walk
good.
3 laps without rest.
Wow. Wow.
Fantastic. That's good. So you start
Yeah,
small and then you build your
consistency.
confidence. Yeah. So
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can
you gotta
walk 3
start
without
somewhere.
resting at all. Like, I started again 3 times, and I cannot wait till the time I can actually run it. So
Wow.
it's just
It happened.
and you have to start somewhere. You
Yeah.
have to start somewhere. You have to start somewhere. And one thing I've learned about loving my body and loving myself is not that I'm accepting that everything is perfect within me or with me. It just means that I'm choosing to love myself enough to be able to choose better choices for myself.
Yeah, so
And go
good.
out and do better for myself. Loving your body doesn't mean that you're happy with your weight. It doesn't mean that you're completely happy with how your hair looks.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that
Nobody's
you're completely
perfect.
happy and you think you're Cinderella. No, it just means that, you know what, I love myself enough to get off my bed and go and have a shower
Yeah.
because my body
Yeah.
deserves it. I love my
Yeah.
skin enough to actually want to put lotion on it because
That's
I
so
want it
good.
to.
Wow.
Hello.
So good.
Hello.
Thank you,
That was
Sidonia.
amazing.
Let me share one more time before I.
Yes, please.
Yes, go
Yeah.
Josephine.
Yeah, it's good. I've heard
Stop.
about.
I love myself because I know that it's going to help me in the long run and not have any cholesterol. It doesn't mean that I want to. It doesn't.
All right.
Loving my body doesn't mean I'm in the shape I want to be.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right.
It means I would take steps to get there.
All right.
For
Thank you
me,
so much.
anyway.
Thank you so much, Sidonia. Let me give a chance to Josephine to speak. Thank you for your wisdom. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Hello,
Good,
good evening
Josephine.
to you all. Yeah, about self-image. On my side, I'll say I love myself too much. I love myself because I know I am the only one who will start loving myself.
Yeah.
And I do love myself. Even if I go and get something that it is good for me, whichever the price, I know I'm buying it for myself. And
Wow.
that is me.
So good. Yeah.
So because of loving myself, I know my worth. I don't like, even if you underrate me, I appreciate myself and I say, I know my worth. There's
Yeah.
nobody who is like me.
Yeah,
Even if I
exactly.
am dark, even if I'm tall, even if I'm short, that is me. So I do love myself. I appreciate myself. When I go somewhere and then like there's a time anyway, I went to Brisbane. And I was by myself. When I went there, I went to a restaurant and this restaurant actually only had white people. Then I was like, oh my God, well, how am I going to? I'm feeling like I need something from this hotel. What am I going to do? Then I just told myself, because I have that inner feeling that tells me, Josephine, you are you and you are courageous and you are a human being. You're just like them. I told myself, why am I underrating myself? I'm supposed to be there. Let me go there. If they won't sell to me, I know, okay, that is it. And I won't feel bad. So I went there and I was there and I felt so happy because I feel proud of myself. Then another thing is when you love yourself, you don't just give yourself anything. You choose what you eat. You do exercise. I work in an aged care, not aged care, sorry, in a disability sector. And sometimes we don't have time working shift. I create time for myself. I create time even to go to the gym. When I wake up in the morning, I do go. I run 2 kilometers every day. I run, then I tell myself, at least I've done something. So we are our own worst enemies. If you just start to feel today that you don't love yourself, that is it. Then you start, in fact, mental health comes with that and undergrading yourself, just feeling that you hate yourself, even if you're fat. That is you. Love it. Just try to do something about it. Even if you're slim, that is you. Just love it. Try to do something positive about that thing. And even if you feel like, you see, like so many sicknesses, like high blood pressure, it comes because of depression. Because at times we start by thinking about ourselves. We start saying that we are not worth it. Even when you go in a place, you feel like, oh, these people are treating me because I'm like this. No, just raise your shoulders high, head high, and appreciate yourself. I do appreciate myself so much. Thank you.
So good. Thank you for sharing.
That was so good. I think the word there is I am courageous, I am myself. So whether you like your weight or you don't like your weight, that's irrelevant because you're not going to be somebody else because you don't like you cannot think yourself to someone else. You cannot talk yourself to being someone else, regardless, even if you try. So I really took that and I'll use that also, yeah, as a reminder. I am myself and I am courageous. And if I don't like something, then I can work on it, but I'm not going to hate it. I'm not going to hate
Absolutely.
myself because of what I don't like, because,
Bodies go through changes, yeah, and it's
that's
okay.
right. That's
Yeah.
right. And thoughts come and go, you don't give them power because they're thoughts, they're just thoughts. It does not make them factual. So if people have put thoughts into our heads because of the way they speak to us or whatever, they're thoughts. They're not realistic. How factual are they? But the
Yeah.
fact is you're you and you're meant to be here. And and what Sidonia said, if you don't have to, we're not trying to let you feel like you need to pretend to love everything about yourself and pretend there's areas you don't want to work on. But don't hate yourself. Don't hate yourself out of opportunities. Don't hate yourself out of opportunity to go to that party or to that beach or to wear that favorite brand of yours or to speak to that person that you always want but you think you're not good enough. Like don't don't discredit yourself and your thoughts, don't use them as weapon to stop you from thriving, but use them to, I guess, to encourage you to do what you need to do to be the happiest with yourself. Yeah, sure. Do you want to say anything on body image for men? I would love to hear what do you guys do to maintain positive body image, because as much as it is hard on women, it's just as hard on men, especially women to men, because of, with the expectations that women have, and things we
Absolutely.
say and the way we treat certain people if the society, we don't think they should. So I think I don't know, like I have soft spot for image, of men image, because I think we women, we're very lethal with our words and the way we
Yeah.
treat. So yeah, so I think there is that, and
I
it's so
agree.
because men don't talk about it, and men don't talk about anything, so we never know, and so we think they don't struggle with body image or are not impacted by the same factors that impact us. So it'll be good to hear from Shoal or Orlando, if you're still here. Yes, and Goy, what do you do to maintain positive body image, and just share that wisdom here for those male who are gonna watch or listen to this recording at some point.
Come on, boys, back me up. Where are they?
I'm in the middle of driving, so
Oh,
I don't have much to say. But it sounds everyone's been saying is fantastic and very on point. I'm probably not the best person to speak about body image because I know I'm vain, and I like to I do work out regularly because it helps my self-confidence. It helps me to feel secure and comfortable. And I like to eat, but so
All right, thank you. And I don't think just what you say, thinking you're vain. I don't think that's the point. The point here is, what do you do to love yourself? And it's you literally just giving us our answers on things you do to love yourself, to keep positive body image for yourself. Positive body image is not about don't do anything to your body and just be, just let the course take its, leave under the trees and don't do anything, and then that's authentic self. It's not about being organic here, but it's about what do you do to keep that positive body image. And I think you
Continue
answered.
consistently for this period of time until now, at the
Yeah.
stage of the life that you're in. Like I
Mm,
think that's what the question is. Like, how did you do it? And how
mm,
did you continue consistently, like constantly,
mm,
stay? Or were you always fit, or were you always just loving your body? Which
mm.
is so good then. That means you're doing something right and you should probably write a book.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, thank you.
I think with what he just said, so he's in the stage of action, which is
Yeah.
a stage that a lot of people try to get to when it
Mm,
comes to positive body image.
Yeah.
In terms of like whatever it is that you want to achieve to feel better and be a better you.
Yeah.
mhm.
So his connection broke off, but it would have been great for him to tell us of what is his motivation to keep up that
Yeah. He did
positivity that
mention
he's in the
diet. He
moment.
said he eats good and he likes food, good food.
He eats,
Yeah,
but it's good. Yeah. Yeah,
and
good pickup.
regularly
I didn't
works
realize
out.
he left.
He works out. Yeah,
His
exactly. Yeah.
connection broke off.
I
Yeah.
had no idea until you said it, and I started looking. I was like, "Oh yeah, it's a big
Yeah.
pickup."
Because for
Yeah.
me personally, I've read so many books, like, and I was always, I think, missing the action. Like, I've
Yeah.
read like stuff like Atomic Habits, Act Like a Success, Think Like a Success,
Oh, so
The Power of
good.
Positive Thinking, so
Mm,
many. And it's like, but nothing changes.
Where
And
am
the
I
reason why
at?
nothing is
Yeah.
changing is because I'm taking in all this information of
mm,
positivity, but then when I look at my environment, it's like I'm
Not
too
giving.
focused
Yeah.
on work, I'm too focused on giving, I'm too focused on um taking care of others before myself. And it's like I forget that the action is needed to take all that knowledge that I'm accumulating, and even the words that you were saying before. I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name because I wasn't here earlier. NAS Recovery Center.
Oh yeah, sorry. It's yeah, that's the center. But my name is Nishan. Oh yes, I didn't realize.
Nitan.
Yes, I'm Nishan.
Yeah, when you were talking before, I was like, wow, if I could just take that and play it to myself every single morning, and
Mm,
and that would help me start my day. So it's like, how do we
mm,
get to starting our day in a positive manner if you've already kind of put yourself down mentally with how you feel about yourself. So hearing stuff like that, I feel like is so important for all of us. Or what Sidonia was saying as well, and Josephine, like it's a bit of encouragement to continue in your journey, in your self-love journey.
That's right. And I don't know if you were here when MJ started the presentation and she spoke about, mind being a muscle. So I look at the mind as, I remember listening to this podcast many years ago, and it was talking about mind being a muscle. I already knew that, but I needed an obviously easy example to drive the point home. It was like, think of having your mind, your brain has two beasts, right? One, one is negative and one's positive. Whichever you feed every time with your words, with your thoughts, gets stronger. So, so you're always going to have both negative in your head. You can't really chase any of them away, but you can choose to starve one away, and so every time you're thinking negative, don't beat yourself up about being negative, but just being mindful that, oh, I just fed the beast that's going to eat the other beast, the positive beast. So whichever you feed will be stronger. So if you're constantly talking about, oh, I'm ugly, I'm fat, I'm skinny, I'm this, my skin is that, every single word, I know it sounds like a cliche, but the more you keep doing it, that muscles will get stronger. And so that beast will get stronger. So then when you really want to take action and be positive, it's going to be really hard because the positive beast has been starved. It's almost, and that's when sometimes it can feel pretentious. That's why some people struggle with affirmation, because they're like, oh, I just can't, it feels weird. It just feels weird. That's because it becomes so foreign to be positive that it feels uncomfortable. So the sooner you start feeding the positive beast, the better for you. And practice make perfect. Even if just one word, like MJ was saying, even just I'm beautiful, I'm this, it may feel so foreign for people who don't do it all the time. It may feel weird and uncomfortable because it's just like, you may think, oh, you're being vain, or you're being whatever, like all descriptions on what the society tell us for people who have positive body image, they're seen as up themselves or whatever. So you may feel uncomfortable, but just remember you're doing it for a purpose. And if you can't do it in public, at least do it with yourself in your mirror when you're brushing. And trust me, if you keep doing it and you keep doing it, eventually it becomes stronger and it becomes normal. And then you can move to bigger things like, I don't care what anyone else thinks, but you got to start somewhere, because if you're feeding the negative beast, it's just going to keep getting stronger. And then you just become so negative without even knowing. It'll be like driving and you find yourself there. Like it becomes so normal. Like people be like, you look good. Oh, not really. I look fat. Like we just like, you won't even know you said it. Or I look skinny, or I look ugly, or I look short or tall or whatever. Like it's just going to come so natural that you struggle to even accept compliments. So the sooner we start accepting ourselves, the better. And then so that you can focus on other things, like Dio was saying before, you can focus on attracting the right people in your life. You can focus on other goals and better things than just your appearance.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, thank you. Yeah.
Very good on you for expanding on that. Thank you. I personally don't have anything else to add, but I am hungry, so I'm gonna go eat. I will feed my body. But
you feed your body. That's good. You gotta put your body first, literally.
yeah.
So I would just I would like us to just maybe then just so we spoke about how we can promote positive body image. So talk to someone about it. So share your feelings with trusted friend, family member, or mental health professional. Just be like, I just struggled. Like, for example, if you struggle with taking compliments, go talk to someone about it. Why do you struggle?
Absolutely.
See, to question where that came from. Did you maybe used to accept compliments and you got told by someone, oh, you're still up yourself? Or I don't know, like, were there something that was behind it? Challenge the negative thinking. So try to
You'd be
identify.
surprised, yeah.
Yeah, try to challenge the negative thinking, thoughts about your body. Where did they come from? Are they realistic? So if you're saying, I'm so ugly, how realistic is that? Just slow down. How realistic? What makes it so factual that
It's
you
a
feel
vague comment.
like, why is it, how is it facts? Where did it come from? Oh, because so-and-so said that. But so-and-so saying it does not make it factual. So try again. Where challenge the thoughts, where is a factual? So if you say I'm so unhealthy, slow down. Are you really unhealthy? And if you are, okay, then change it. So if you say I'm unhealthy because I'm not able to run, I'm not able to do 3 laps. So that may be factual. So then do something about it, because you know that if you're not healthy, you know that
Yeah.
your mental health is going to be compromised. You know your ability to perform and be a mother or father or sister or whatever is going to be compromised. So that is some change you do want to work on. So it's about challenging how factual are those thoughts.
Yeah.
You know, how factual are they? And then you'll find that few of them are really factual. The rest is just a made up noise from everybody else in society. So no, you know, yeah, have some media literacy. Sorry.
Sorry to cut you.
Yeah, that's okay.
With what you're saying, there's a quote in the book, winning the war in your mind. The quote goes, a lie believed to be true can affect your life as if it was true.
Yeah.
So society has a lot of standards that has been set up for us that are not realistic, like you just said. And if we're not careful and we believe those standards, those expectations, they are going to affect our life as if it was true, because it will navigate how we choose to live. And then from that, of course, there will be consequences. There will be effects. You know, it will have an effect on how we live and what we think about ourselves. So I just want to say that book is actually a really nice and powerful book. I read it. It changed my mindset a lot. I used to think of myself very differently and negatively. And after reading that book, I realized that most of the beliefs or the truths that I actually held were not actually actual truth. Were not actually actual truth. Like, for example, most of our African background, we have these superficial beliefs that have been passed down from generation to generation, including not sweeping at night because you're going to invite bad spirits or whatever. Things like that. Some of us, until now, some of us believe in things like that. But is it actual facts?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, thank you so much.
And some certain things like that can really affect our lives. So we have to be really mindful, because we could be enjoying really beautiful lives and take on a lot of opportunities and really have beautiful lives, but because of certain lies that we believe in, so
That's right.
I just want to put that in.
Thank
Sorry.
you. No, thank you. That was wonderful. Sarah Koryop just made a comment, you know, saying the negative thoughts are always 10 times stronger. And it's true, because our brain is wired that way. Our brain is wired for our protection. It's wired to always be in fear, be scared, be extra alert, be like, so it's harder to be more positive, because the negative memories tend to stay longer for our own, you know, self-protection. So brain is like, oh, do you remember when this happened? Be careful, don't go there. You know, you touch a fire, you never go back again. So we're conditioned to remember the negatives. That's why it's easier for us to ruminate on those compared to positive. Positive comes, I mean, because positive, anything that inflicts pain or discomfort will be remembered more. You know, because obviously we need to be warned, you know, so that we don't do it again. So we don't go to that same friend again that did us wrong. For our own protection, we will remember the negatives all the time. And this is why we have to even be extra more vigilant, because we're not going to automatically be positive unless we make an effort to be positive. Right.
Absolutely.
So so the other, you know, going back to how to promote, so just we're about to finish, you know, have self-compassion. So treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you would offer a friend or your child. So, you know, something I liked before about, you know, what MJ was saying about the baby girl, you know, that you just had this baby and you see this baby as the most beautiful, no mistake child. But that most beautiful came from you. So why would you be any less? How can something that's a mistake make something that isn't a mistake? It just doesn't make sense. You know, so if this came from you, then you must be just as perfect as this. So treat yourself with kindness, and, you know, treat your body as, you know, just if you don't like the way it looks, at least appreciate the fact that it holds you together.
Yeah,
You know,
gets you to work.
it gets you to where you need to be. It gets you to a point that then you
Definitely.
can get to the gym. So at least appreciate it for the things it has done. So if you struggle to
Absolutely.
appreciate the way it looks, the appearance, appreciate the what it can do, the functionality. You know, you wouldn't be like,
Yeah.
I hate my fingers. You wouldn't be like, I hate my legs. Like, what do you
Yeah,
mean?
how?
You know, you can't be like, I
Right.
hate my eyes. Like, I hate my eyes. Like, what do you mean? Do you want to gouge them out? Like, you can see with them. So at least appreciate your body for for its functionality, for the fact that it's still able to function. So then, you know, at least if you get to the point of loving it and appreciating it for what it can do, then you can start, you know, being a little bit more gentle and not and more about caring for what you appreciate. So gym becomes a part of something you're doing to carry for rather than something you have to do. So obviously develop a healthy lifestyle. You don't like something, change it, you know, so focus on adopting a healthy lifestyle. So if you can't run, do laps. If you can't eat a whole fruit all day, at least have a vegetable meal for the week. Just do what you can, but make a conscious effort to start having a healthy lifestyle, because it's gonna obviously, you know, enhance everything else.
Yeah, and you don't need to have a lot of quantity of one thing to make it healthy. You can literally have a bite of fruit and it's okay. You're putting the same nutrition in.
Yeah, start low, one expectation. One fruit, yeah. You know, and obviously then see a professional help. So if it's becoming an issue to the point where you're maybe, you know, developing some eating issues, that maybe you're starting to have poor relationship with food, whether it's too much, you see food as an issue. I can't eat that because it's gonna make me fat. I can't eat the ice cream. I can't go to that party because I'm gonna cook, that auntie is gonna have that somolina. You know, if you start to have unhealthy relationship with the food, that it becomes enemy, seek some help. If you can't wear certain things, even though you love them, because you think it's going to put attention into some part that you hate about your body, seek support. You know, don't just let it be, because then that person can then go and help you on how to think positively, where to get help and all those things. And, you know, and so in the chat box, I put some books in there. One of my favorite books it's written by a Black woman, Renee Taylor. It's called Body is Not an Apology. Please, if you don't like reading book, listen to Audible. I read that book and it changed my perspective. I read it, I think 2 years ago. Oh my goodness. Every time I'm about to think negative, I remember that my body is not an apology, that I need to go around and be like, oh, someone say, oh, you look beautiful, straight away I feel like I have to compliment them back. It's like, no, like my body is not an apology. So that is a good book. And obviously there's more books there, but if you want to read a book about how your body is so, you know, it's not an apology that you need to go around for and trying to accommodate.
And you can audiobook it. It's not just
audio,
available.
yeah, Audible, Blinkers, you know, they didn't pay us to give them ads here, but Audible is, I love Audible because I have a busy lifestyle.
To you're cleaning, cooking,
Listening in the car, especially. I get through books just like this because I'm always on the road. The other thing is continue to be in groups like this where you meet other people. So then your focus is shift from whatever else, and then you could focus on, you know, learning from others people learning from you, and you then go back feeling like enriched, like I've learned something
and
new.
you're not alone.
And you're not alone.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
so that is our session on body image and affirmation. So if you don't know what affirmation are, go on YouTube. Like obviously MJ is going to share, but affirmation is basically words. You know, I'm beautiful. You know, my body is not an apology. I will be my best self at some point. Tomorrow is a better day for me to work out. I don't know. It can be anything.
Absolutely. So good. Thank you so much for having
thank you, MJ. It's been amazing co-facilitating with you.
Thank you for my girls that came through. I love you both.
It's been great. So any questions, everybody, before we end our session? We have next session next week. It's going to be on loneliness. So loneliness in relationships. So, you know, we still in relationships with people or with friends, but feel lonely, you know. So we're going to talk about the impact of being around so many people, but still feeling lonely, and how do we work against it? How do we, you know, accept ourselves, which then fits into all this, you know. Yeah, so I hope many of you can join next week. As always, please invite someone who can benefit from it, share it. You just never know. Someone may be bored and they're like, hey, let me go and learn. And then it becomes,
for sure.
The more of us, the better, because more experience is being shared and more people to help. So I look forward to seeing you guys next week at 6 p.m. by Zoom. The link is always the same, so you don't have to re-ask for it again if you just registered. And thank you, thank you, thank you. Have a lovely night.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank